No, and I think that's you were talking before about how you choose. It's a choice, isn't it? How you choose to spend that moment, and when you understand that that's a choice that you've made, and you're doing something as simple as reading a bedtime story or cuddling your child.
Yes.
you I'm going to use the word buzz again, sorry, but the buzz that I get from knowing that that's the choice I've made. I've made the choice to do this, and it's gorgeous. And that is huge for me. I think that's one of the biggest benefits that mindfulness has given me personally, is the understanding that this is how I'm choosing to spend my time.
Yes, that's a really interesting way of putting it. It's lovely to hear, Joe. That question of choice, I think, is really important with mindfulness, because we always have choices. You know, we are always making choices about what we do and how we respond to the things that happen to us.
Yeah.
But we don't always feel that we're making choices, and that's something to do with awareness. You know, you need to be able to step back and think. Let's give a crude example. You know, there's a cake in front of me. Now, sometimes I find, and I think we all find, that the cake is halfway down your esophagus before you've even started to think about what's happening.
Yeah.
But there's a choice there. And it's the capacity to step back from the moment, to step back from the impulse, let's say, and from our habits, that then opens up that possibility of choice. I could eat it, I could not eat it. I'm not going to eat it, you know, whatever it might be. And on an emotional level, in our relationships, and you know, the way we react to things, that's often where we're least aware of our choices, and we get drawn into, you know, ways of relating that we wouldn't really want to engage in, had we the capacity to stand back. So for me, that's mindfulness is really about two things. One is learning the capacity to calm down and contacting the natural soothing, calming mechanisms that are there in our bodies and our brains. That's one part of it. And the other part of it is using the mental space that opens up to make those choices and to get a perspective on our minds, our life, our experience, our relationships, our emotions, all of those things.
And to raise that awareness as well. I think that for me was huge, was because before I met you, I'd obviously heard of meditation. I'd never meditated before. I'd used hypnosis, but I'd never meditated before. And my view on meditation was very much, oh, you have to quiet your mind and stop it happening and stop it chattering, and I can't do that. My mind goes a million miles an hour.
Wow.
And that, I think, was one of the biggest impacts on me from working with you, was that it wasn't about that at all. It was about paying attention to what was going on in there, so that I was more aware of the spaces, I was more aware of the choices, I was more aware of my own thought processes, so that I had the power to make those choices. That's what it was for me, that, which was completely different to what I thought it was going to be, which is probably why it blew my head off. But
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You're still there, Joe. So
yes, it's still here, thank God. Okay, so if you could, and I know this is probably impossible, but I'm going to ask you anyway, if you could give us one top tip for a happy life, what would your number one top tip be?
Be interested.
I like that.
Be interested in your experience. Be interested in the world around you. Be interested in other people.
Cool.
Interest means paying attention, but it also means engaging emotionally. And we can choose to take an interest. We can't wait. We needn't wait for interest to come along, because it'll probably follow the thing that's shiniest and brightest and loudest. So we need to direct our interest. So be interested.
Cool. I like that. That's an interesting perspective. I like that. That's cool. Wasn't expecting that. Thank you. Okay, so if people want to find out more about what you do and how you do it, where do they find you?
Well, I've got a webpage, Mindfulness in Action.
Okay.
That's probably the best way to look. I also have a blog, which is called Wise Attention, and I put my talks and things like that on my blog.
Fab. And obviously Radio 4, because you're famous.
Radio 4, yeah. Yes. Among Today programme listeners.
Brilliant.
Some people love Thought for the Day, but a lot of people hate it. I don't know if they hate me, but
How could they possibly hate you?
Usually, people complain about bishops waffling on about things that bishops waffle on about. So yes, I try not to do that on Thought for the Day, but
I'm going to listen and critique.
Yes.
I'll send you my review.
Okay.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for giving up your time to give us the benefit of your wisdom. And we'll see you again in the next interview on the World of Happiness. Thank you very much. Bye.